day, man, to everybody. Me and Smooth Smitty back at it again, man. Make sure you be generational because it's always time to be. And I hope everybody has found their peace today. And today, man, we're talking about something that is not so peaceful. And we already know that it's Kirk Cousins, the Atlanta Falcons. Our situation has been ongoing for months now, especially at the beginning of the new league year. And hey, man, new reports are coming out. The Falcons, reports about the Falcons trade demands. Wanted to talk about that. Sprinkle a little bit of Hawks talk into it and just a little bit of Braves, but this is definitely going to be about mostly Kirk Cousins, the Atlanta Falcons, and the things that the Atlanta Falcons are asking for. But before we get into that, Smitty, what's good, man? Let me know what's happening.
Hey
Hopefully,
man,
everybody
what's
can
good?
hear.
We need these people to pop in, man. We trying to have some fun. At 2 o'clock in the evening, cause we
Yeah, it
take
is.
time out of
It
our
is.
busy schedule to do this. So man, y'all come on in. Come on in
Let
and
us know
talk
if
to
you
us
can
right quick.
hear us. Let us know if you can hear us as well. Michael, can you hear us? Shout out to you too, man. Thank you for popping in on us. We was trying to make sure. I know earlier no one could hear us. Mr. Wallace, he popped in on us and he was like, "Man, we cannot hear you." So we're trying something out on YouTube, man. Trying to go like strictly straight through YouTube.
Yeah, we good to go now.
No, something else out because StreamYard has just been tripping and YouTube has been tripping with the integration of StreamYard lately for some strange reason. So this is where we're at. We're gonna try it out and see how
Right.
it goes. Yes, sir, man. But Smitty, how
Hey
you
man, I'm
feeling?
feeling good, man. Maxing and relaxing today. I'm still throwing out videos, man. I dropped one last night about 1 o'clock. Well, one this morning about 1 o'clock this morning, and I dropped another one a
Hmm.
little bit early, a couple hours ago. So I may still have one or two more in me for today. Like I said yesterday,
Okay.
man, I got the monetization going back again. So if y'all feel free to want to donate, go ahead and do that.
Indeed, indeed. Yeah, man. So, all right, let's get into this. So, there's a few articles that came out, and it was suggesting what the Falcons were asking for, their asking price for Kirk Cousins, backup quarterback Kirk Cousins. And it said the Falcons are seeking a team willing to take on a significant portion of the contract and potentially can be in between 20 to 25 million. Oh, and to add to that, they're also asking for draft capital in return for Cousins, which could be potentially a third round pick in return. There are also reports suggesting that the Falcons could be opening to trading tight end Kyle Pitts to potentially move up in the draft as well. There's a lot of rumors swirling around our Atlanta Falcons, y'all. And it starts with Kirk Cousins, but that was a lot that I just went over. We're gonna go by piece, starting with the Falcons seeking a a significant partner to take on a significant portion of that contract. 20 to 20. You think we're gonna be able to move Kurt with that?
Bro, they just trying to find somebody to clean up their mess. And that's not cool. I said it on a video earlier today. It's okay if you ask for a third round pick, but as I
Mhm.
told y'all on another live stream, you got to be looking at it too as um, you got to be looking at it too as um, probably having to trade away an asset to get off of Kirk Cousins. So I'm telling you, this is not going to end well for the Falcons. They may be stuck with him for the rest of the season. He may sit out. Who knows? But he told Arthur Blank that he wanted to be released, and that's not cool because you signed a contract. You've already made what close to the $100 million in 1 year. So yeah, you got to sit back under that contract,
Definitely
check
been
him off,
paid.
and and see. Look, I'm telling y'all, and one of my followers said this, and I agree with it. This is more Kirk Cousins' agent than anybody because if Kirk
Hmm.
Cousins is not moved, um, that agent does not get paid the rest of his fee. So until Kirk Cousins get another contract, and remember, if they cut him, he will get the money from the Falcons,
Hmm.
and he would probably play for the vet minimum like Russell Wilson did last year. So
Yeah.
it's deja vu all over again. They
And
just won't get it last year.
honest,
Go
and
ahead.
I knew that when Russell Wilson did that move and the Broncos did that move, I seen the significance of the dead money hit, but I was thinking then, I was like, and I didn't think it would be us, but I was thinking, I was
Right,
like, it's gonna be another team that's gonna have to do this because this is kind of like the blueprint. You're gonna have to cut him, and then he's gonna sign for the vet minimum somewhere else. You're gonna be paying that contract.
right.
Now, I didn't think it would be us. I really did not think we would be in that situation. But man, we can't. I can't cut Kirk Cousins. That's giving him what he wanted. And then when from the beginning of the league year when all this started, because we've been talking about Kirk for forever now. When this first started, I was like, nah, we don't need to cut him because that's exactly what he wants. That's why he went on Good Morning Football. So that's why he is going over people's heads, going over Terry and Raheem's head, going straight to the owner, trying to see what you can work out with the owner, trying to break the chain of command. Like it's just
And
been
not only
hit
that,
after hit.
you see him traveling in Cleveland, don't you? That's part of
Right.
the tactic too. To say, hey, Cleveland, if y'all want me, y'all call down there, find a way to get a deal done so I can get out of there. So
But
it's
see, here's the
basically
problem though.
go
The
ahead.
problem is Cleveland doesn't want to take on the portions of the contract, especially for 20 to 25 mil. Now I'm gonna keep it real with you, Smitty. In a
Ain't
league
nobody
to where
but
quarterbacks are very important,
go ahead,
is
go ahead,
what
go
I'm
ahead.
now I was
Go
gonna say in a league where quarterbacks are very important, a team would have to be pretty darn desperate to take on 20 to 25 mil of that contract. I could see maybe 15, like kind of like meet us in the middle type thing. But 20-25 million, that would be absolutely steal and a dream for us because it'll cause a lot of flexibility for us. I just don't see any team getting that desperate enough to be like, okay, we'll take on that 20-25 mil, preferably the 25 mil, of course, if you're the Atlanta Falcons. I just don't see a team getting that desperate to be like, okay, we'll do that. What do you
and,
think?
and you got to look at it from Cleveland perspective as well. They just
Hmm.
cleared up $36 million in cap space that they probably gonna have to pay down the road. So you want them to spend 20 to 25 million of the 36 million they just got under the salary cap. That just doesn't make sense. And they're a rebuilding team. So why would you go out give a 37-year-old quarterback that kind of leeway and give him 27 of
Don't
the
care.
36 million? That just doesn't make sense.
Bro, I just
Not
don't see it
logical.
happening. I don't have see it happening because we don't have the leverage to so to speak. And if we talk about trying to trade them, I just don't see a team that would want to take on that money, man. That's a lot of money. 20 to 25 mil, that's way more than half. Especially that 25 mil. You might as well say you took on the whole contract. You might as well
Basically.
just say, I want you to take
But
25.
like I
You
told
know,
you,
so
that's just the Falcons' way of getting somebody else to trying to clean up their mess. And at the end
uh,
of the day, what sense does that make? And then you being cocky asking for a third round pick for a quarterback who had an arm like a chicken tender last year.
I'm just about to
And
move on to that.
and his Achilles is popped. He's just not coming back. And hell, who knows? He may not even still be 100% because a lot of athletes don't even recover from Achilles injury. When they do, it's well on
Wow.
down the road when they're long done with football. So who knows health wise where he is? So yeah,
Hey man, like
I'm
Quincy
staying away
Carter
from him.
said, man, your legs be the first thing to go,
Exactly.
not your arm. And he did have a significant injury, and now to his credit, he hasn't had a lot of injuries, and that was his most significant injury in his whole entire career.
Yep.
But it just came at a terrible time, I think, for the Atlanta Falcons. I just think it was a series of unfortunate events. The Falcons, they took a major gamble on a 36-year-old quarterback who was coming off an Achilles injury, but they were quarterback struck, quarterback broke, and desperate time for desperate measures. And at the same time, we were desperate in that situation. So, yes, we did overpay. But we talked about that when he first came to the team about the contract. We was like, yeah, it's an overpay, but the Falcons are desperate. I said we all knew that. Now it's like you looking at it now, and it's just like, man, you just wish you didn't even do it at all. Yeah, hey, I really hate that we're in this situation because it seems like the circle of life have already come back around. Remember, we started here a few years ago, dug
Right.
ourselves out of the hole. You know what I'm saying? Credit to Terry for that. And now we're right back here again. You know what I'm saying? And now we actually have a quarterback now in Michael Penix Jr. And we don't have necessary funds to really like put guys around him. That's why we have to nail the draft. I'm talking about absolutely nail it. It's so
Yeah,
important not
but
only for the Falcons' future, but to Terry Fontenot's and Raheem's future too.
to Michael's point, I agree. I feel like Kirk Cousins still trying to screw them, because he's trying not to waive his no trade clause until after the draft. If you
Right.
wait till after the draft, that means if they give you draft capital, it's going to be in next year's draft, not this year,
Indeed.
but next year. So I mean, look, he done nothing but cause trouble since he's been here. So
Right. He came in the door costing us a draft pick.
any
That was
team that
already
takes
like a
on a guy
sign
like
of
that,
things to come.
right? Yeah,
And
locker
it's just
room
like, and
talk.
my thing is, you don't want to be negative, but you look at that, and you just like, bro, you just walked in the door. You don't have no equity with the team, with the fans, with the organization, with the culture, nothing in Atlanta, and you walk in the door costing draft picks.
Yeah, but
That's
think
just
about
not
it
a good
too.
and good look. And first impressions is
He,
everything.
but he had done got that signing bonus, so he didn't
Oh
care.
yeah, we know that. We
He
know
didn't
that. I
care.
mean, at the end of the day, when the ink dry, the ink dry. But
Right.
that same point that you just said about the signing bonus, the same ink that is dry is the same reason why you don't hold the cards, Mr. Cousins. You just don't. You
Right.
can go to the owner all you want to. You can go to anybody all you want to. At the end of the day, for me, if I'm the Atlanta Falcons, I'm staying pat and I'm staying firm, 10 toes down, salute to everything. I'm not going away from how I feel about doing what's best for the team. I'm not
You
going
can't.
away from it.
You can't. You got to always do
If
what's best for the
homeboy
team.
just gonna have to get ready to be a backup to Michael Penix Jr. You feel me? He's
Yeah.
gonna have to just get ready for it because if I don't get what I want necessarily, now I ain't gonna lie, I do need to be a little bit more manageable. Like I said, 20 to 25 mil, a team has to be super desperate, like just to take on
But
that because they
actually,
basically are saying
Cleveland
that they're
is
gonna take
kind of
on your
desperate.
mistake. But
Cleveland
they
is
gonna
kind
take
of
on
desperate.
our mistake? You think they're gonna take on that much of our mistake?
No,
It's
no,
already
no. I
reported
don't
that they
think they're
don't want
gonna
to
do
take
it.
that
I
much.
don't. No, I don't think they're gonna do that. But if you think about it, they are kind of desperate. Deshaun Watson is out with Achilles injury. He's probably not going to play the next year if he ever plays again. Then you think about their star running back in Nick Chubb. He's a free agent right now.
Hmm.
They lost Amari. They traded Amari Cooper. They really
Hmm.
only have David Njoku and Elijah Moore, but he may be a free agent as well. So I mean, they're just rebuilding. So are they desperate? Yes. But will Kirk Cousins change anything about what's going to happen in 2025? No. I think Kirk
No.
Cousins is going after one more contract and he's done.
Man, it's just and then with the whole no trade clause thing too, that is his last trump card again. Like I've said that before. And that's the last thing that he has. So that's why he's putting it into play. And he's like, okay, I don't want to go. And it's just like the the gall of this man. I don't want to go anywhere to where I have to be in a quarterback competition with a young rookie or somebody that, what I'm saying, that I have to look over my shoulder for. Like that's real crazy,
Hence,
bro. And he's like,
that's why he was in Cleveland to see
you're
what
right.
was going on with that number 2 pick. If
Are
they go,
y'all going to draft a quarterback or y'all going edge rusher? Y'all go edge rusher, come get me, please. But if so you all going quarterback, can y'all let me know that as well? It's just like bro, like it's a lot of backdoor. He backdoor Kurt. You know what I'm saying? Like
but
that's
think
just
about
really
it,
what
bro.
his name should be now, bro.
He's 37 years old.
Hmm.
No matter where you go, you're gonna have a backup looking over your shoulder. It's just that simple.
At this point,
Because
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I
because
don't understand.
what if you re-injure that Achilles? You lost your job again. What if you start playing bad again, just like you did after the 6-3 start? They're gonna bring that other quarterback in. So no matter where
Bro,
you go, you can't get away from it.
a team would be dumb to really go into a situation after looking at our situation and saying, "Hey, we're going to do exactly what the Falcons did, and we're just going to go ahead and just give you the reins, and you're not going to have any kind of competition." That spells a
Doesn't make
desperate
sense.
team, and it also I don't think Cleveland is going to do that. You know what I'm saying?
I don't
If
see
at
it.
the end of the day, I just
I
don't
don't see
see
it.
it either. They really need a quarterback solution. Yes, they have Kenny Pickett there, but honestly, Kurt wouldn't have to worry about Kenny Pickett, in my opinion.
Nope.
So that would be, it's an ideal situation. You look anywhere else, there's nowhere else really for him to go. Teams have made other options and have chose other options. Even Daniel Jones, the reason why he went to the Colts is because the coach said, "Hey, if you come here, we'll give you the opportunity to start."
Yeah,
So I'm just saying,
even if they drafted Shador Sanders, he would probably still sit for most of the year. And even though
Mhm.
uh, he may
I
not
think
want
he
them to
beats out
draft
Kenny
Shador,
Pickett though.
I would still draft Shador Sanders. And if you're gonna come to Cleveland, you're gonna win the job outright, and you're gonna play good enough to keep it. And if you don't play good enough to keep it, yeah, it's got to go to the bench. It's just that simple.
I mean,
So
hey, it's that cut and dry for me too. But again, my whole thing is regardless, as long as we get the best situation, whatever happens with Kurt after that, I could care less. Seriously. I really could, because I could care less before the Falcons and I can care less after the Falcons. This was a pit stop that just should have never happened. This was like
right,
that old movie, Wrong Turn. This was definitely wrong turn.
boy, that one of the funniest movies ever.
Man, it just
But they went down that bad road into the tree houses and shit. Boy, look,
Man, they wish they hadn't seen them folks, and that's just how it was for Falcon fans. Now, regardless of the 6-3, because let's keep it real, I'm even one of them. No matter how I felt before Kirk got into that Falcon uniform, when he was in that Falcon uniform, I was with him. We all was with him when we were 6-3. We all was swag surfing. Let's just keep it all the way 100. No matter if we had in the back of our minds, this could all go to shit at any given moment. We
but
still were all there.
that's true to a certain extent. But even though we was swag and surfing, we
We
all knew
knew.
Kurt
We
was
seen
hurt.
it.
We
We
said we
seen it.
said we said on the show multiple times, something ain't right with Kurt. And when that New Orleans
Bro.
game, you lose to a team that lost 7 straight games and quarterback playing like crap, something wrong.
And again, I can't let Kurt off the hook, and I'm not gonna let him off the hook because he was throwing picks and making bad decisions and throwing dead balls
Ooh boy,
before that Saints game.
ooh boy,
I'm telling you, man, go look at the Eagles game, even though we won it. Look at some
bad
of those
passes.
throws that just died before it got to Darnell Mooney, before it got to Ray McLeod. Look at the chart, with the Chiefs game. I think Ray McLeod was open in the middle of the field. The ball died. The Seahawks game. Look at that game. So it's just like there are other examples of Kurt not playing well. It's just playing good enough to get the win.
Yep,
But if you want to look at the whole season, he already had question marks and nicks and hiccups the entire season. It's just with that
yeah,
Saints game, it was just one of those things. You know how the boat be loose, and then you have just a nice jolt enough finally to knock that boat loose. That's what happened in the Saints game. That boat was loose. Cam Jordan came and hit him and knocked the boat out.
right here. And two, you got to fault Raheem Morris to a certain extent because if we sitting at home looking at the game and saying that something's wrong with Kirk Cousins, he was standing right there on the field looking directly at him, and he should have knew something wrong. And
Man,
you can blame it on Raheem, you can blame it on the doctors. Yeah, you can even
bro,
blame it on GM Terry Fontenot because I knew he knew someone right with Kurt. But they go by what Kurt say because Kurt didn't want to get benched because he knew he'd get benched. The incentives gone, and he never quarterbacks in that down again. So
that's it. And that situation is so tough because they can tell us whatever they want to tell us. You
right,
feel like what I'm saying? Like everybody was in on it, and I just think Kurt just backdoored the
right.
organization. Truly, that's what I really feel. I feel like everyone knew because you look at the variables. Okay, Kurt doesn't want to lose his starting job to Michael Penix and be similar situation like how he was with Robert Griffin III. Even though it happened
But see,
anyway, that's what he was
but
trying
see,
to
that's why he
avoid.
shouldn't have had a problem
Then,
with it
then hold,
because
wait.
he did it to some.
You see what
That's
I?
why he shouldn't have had a problem with it because he did it to somebody. So you know exactly what can happen.
Hey, which is, again, you know what I'm saying, ego. It's almost like I'm just lifting weights, ego lifting. That's exactly what Kurt does, man. And then you think about it also. Okay, so Kurt doesn't want to lose his starting job. Then you think about the money that's been paid to Kurt, the organization, Terry and Raheem. They like, okay, we've made this move. We have to try to see if we can see it through.
Right,
Because our owner is looking over our shoulder at it as well.
right.
So it's just, it's just too much that you got going on. Too many variables going on with that. That's why I feel like everyone knew. And then Kurt said, "I'm gonna go on Good Morning Football, and I'm gonna force my way out because I know I'm not getting that starting job back." He thought
And
he was really going to be on the field in Washington. That man had his helmet on. We
yeah,
all seen him.
when you put two and two together, bro, Atlanta trying to save money just so they can go out and try to make another splash move. They do have to sign the draft class, so I think they have enough money for that right now. But look, if they want to go out and get a Trey Hendrickson or trade for Micah Parsons, you got to get that contract out the books. You got to save that $20 million, 20 to 25, or however much it is. You got to save that money. So I get what they're trying to do, and they're trying to find a way to get money to go get another edge rush and then possibly get a younger guy in the draft to fix their edge, to fix their pass rush. So basically, that's what they're trying to do, but they're just going about doing it wrong. At this point, cut ties. If you don't want to, send him nowhere and be stuck with the money, sit him on the bench and force him to sit there. Or either he can retire. I
Right.
would call his hand. You want to bluff? You just sit there and retire. That's the only way you get out of this contract.
I'm telling you, bro. He would be on the
And,
bench.
and even if he comes back, he's still gonna be the property of the Atlanta Falcons, so his career gonna be
Right. You know what I'm saying? He would be on the bench for me. I'm not cutting you. You can forget that. So stop asking me. That's what I've been on telling them. Stop asking me to cut you.
over.
I'm
Right.
not cutting you. Okay. You're not getting cut on. There is no circumstance that can happen for you to get cut. All right. So just go ahead and let's stop asking me to cut you. We're going to trade you if we can. If we can get what we asking for, or at least close to that, we'll trade you. Outside of that, we'll see you at mandatory minicamp.
He won't be there. They've already said he won't even be there.
Well, I know they said voluntaries, but I'm really wondering what's going to happen
He
when
not,
things become mandatory.
he not coming to that either. He'll take the
Well,
fine.
it sound like we're gonna get some of that money back anyway, then, because
He'll
I'll be
take.
finding your behind every day you don't
He'll,
show.
he'll, hey, he'll let that little money go. Cause he paid, man. He don't care.
That's fine. I need that money back. Every dollar I can get, every cent, every red cent I can get back, that's cool. So
Before
go ahead and sit out
before
in
he
the entire training camp for all I care.
before he
Every
signed with
single day.
Atlanta, before he signed with Atlanta, he was well over $200 million. So he's straight.
That's fine. That's fine. I promise you I'm gonna find him well over 10K every day he don't show.
Oh no, he might get up to 30 to 40,000.
That's wonderful. Let's make it 50. Why stop there? Let's just make it
Might as
50,000 a
well.
day. Make it 50,000 a day. In 2 days, you can lose 100K. Give me some of that
Right.
back. I
And
need
then
some of that.
I still seeing people, and I still reading articles that some guys still back him even though what he's doing right now. But you can't allow nobody like
Mhm.
that back into your locker room. You just can't. Not even on the practice field.
Yeah.
Because that's going to leave a bad taste in your mouth. You're not thinking about your teammates when you're making these boneheaded moves, costing them draft picks, and costing the Falcons money. Any other team in the league, they should be looking at this too. Like, I don't need nobody like that in my locker
And maybe some teams are. Maybe that's why other teams decide to go other places.
room. Right.
Because I'm just saying, Kurt has equity in the NFL over some guys that were chosen. You don't think Kurt has more equity than like a Daniel Jones? Because the Colts, I
Man,
say that I keep breaking up the Colts because they was
look
the
at the
sleeper.
quarterbacks for the 2021 class. Every
Come
single one
on
of
now.
those first round quarterbacks is on another team.
They're all backups. They're all backups. Even Mac Jones, all backups.
Mac
So
Jones,
it just,
Justin Fields. He may be a starter, but who knows?
yeah, well,
Trey Lance
Justin
not
Fields is starting
Trey
now.
Lance not even in the NFL right now. He in the CFL. So
Crazy. Crazy work. That's what I'm saying, bro. You look at that. Like, look at that. Like the only ones that's really like stunting like that is Trevor Lawrence. You know, and he's in
And
Jacksonville.
honestly, what has Trevor done to
No, I
get
mean,
that
to an
$55 million deal?
to
He
an
did
extent,
enough just to get by.
hey, just to get by, just to get by. Oh, that was a good old song. But
Yeah,
yeah, man.
they're
You
gonna
said what
start
now?
evaluating quarterback different down the road because one thing about it,
Well,
the quarterbacks need to be on the pay scale. They need
Mike
to be on a
said
certain
Trevor
pay
is
scale.
next. Mike said Trevor is next.
Right.
Well, what's good, everybody? What's good, Larry? Thank you for coming back in. I said too, man. Everybody, man. I know that other stream. It was funny. Robert had said, man, if only I could read lips, A1. Hey man, yeah, man. We were just trying some things out. Like again, like I said, this YouTube thing. Trying to go straight through the YouTube platform, see if, what kind of benefits, if any, it adds. I will admit, Smitty, I don't like that the fact that we can't really just like stream and share everywhere like how we was with this though. I will
I
admit
mean,
that.
that's something that they got to fix.
What?
They making enough money to fix it. Trust me.
All right, man. I got to move on to the next thing with the Falcons. Reports suggesting Falcons could move up in the draft and use Kyle Pitt as a trading chip to possibly move up.
I would have no problem with that because, as I said, you got a tight end out of Bowling Green that's just as athletic, and I feel like he can probably come in and do a better job than Kyle Pitts. He's a little bit more aware of what's going on the field. I'd take it a step further. Jonnu Smith had a career year last year in Miami. Had a better year than Kyle Pitts. And when he was here, at certain points, he was playing better than Kyle Pitts. So maybe they should have been got rid of Kyle Pitts. And maybe they probably wouldn't have got the conversation because teams would probably just say, well, he suffered a knee injury that he hasn't recovered from. And you can say that to a certain extent. But last year, Kyle Pitts seemed to be at least 90% the whole season. So trading him right now would probably be the logical thing to do because, as I've been saying, a tight end is one of those positions you can get a 5th or 6th round pick to come in and put up that kind of production. Look at Kittle in San Francisco. I think he was a 5th round pick.
I mean, oh boy, that'll be tough because that's another guy that, taking him fourth overall, highest tight end ever taken in league history. It's just like, man, using him as a trading chip to trade up. I don't want to do that. It's just I don't why are we trading up? That would be my question. Why are we trading up? If
Exactly,
anything,
it's exactly what I said. You remember we did a show a couple of weeks ago,
yeah,
and I said it's time for them to make that splash move.
bro, heck no,
They were probably listening to me.
bro. I ain't gonna lie
At
to you. I'm
some
about to
point,
start muting your mic.
at
Muting
some
mic.
point, at some point, you got to go out and make that franchise changing move. This is the draft to do that. They didn't do it with Michael Parsons. They didn't do it with Jalen Carter. Now it's the time to do it. Jalen Walker is one of those players. Mike Green is one of those players. Mason Graham is one of those players. Will Johnson. I can
It is
go on
so
and on.
much talent in this draft,
I
bro.
said,
My goodness,
this is the
how many
draft.
mock drafts have we done? That we see the talent that's there,
Together,
man.
together we've done 2, but solo I've done 4 and you've done 3.
So
So
that's what I'm saying. Like you see the talent that's in this draft. There's so many different ways you can go.
hey
And
Mike,
my thing is,
Mike,
this is a draft to where we need some players. We need some starters, fam. We
hey
don't
Mike,
know. This is
I
Dorless rookie year.
go
Rook's
back through
rookie
my
year.
go back through my videos. I said Abdul Carter is one of those players. If he falls far enough, you need to go up the board to get him. Jump in front of Carolina to go get him.
Man, boy. Ooh, I know. Let me see what we got. I know Michael. He agrees with you, saying Abdul Carter. Larry says, but Penix asked the front office to keep him. That is true. That is
Oh
true.
yeah, he backed him 100%.
Michael Penix. Yeah,
At the
Michael
Super
Penix was
Bowl, he did an
backing Kyle
interview.
Pitts.
He said he still got belief in Kyle Pitts. And sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
and what do I always say? A tight end is quarterback's best friend. And
Always,
look,
always.
maybe Michael Penix figured something out that Kirk Cousins couldn't. Because Kirk Cousins, him and Kyle Pitts weren't nowhere near on the same page. Kyle Pitts could be
The
standing right in
connection.
front of him. He could be standing right in front of him, and he'll throw the ball over his head to somebody else that got double coverage. That's how much
Oh
he hated
God,
Kyle Pitts.
man, that just brought back some bad memories about Kyle, but it also
Hey,
brought back some bad memories about that Charger game when Bijan Robinson could have slapped him and kept going, and he threw it
he's
up in
standing
the
right
end
there.
zone. Oh gosh, goodness, Kurt, my goodness.
Hey,
What's
Mike,
good, M Dub? M Dub,
Mike,
the franchise player. He
I
gonna pop
agree.
in here.
Abdul Carter is the only player that I would trade up for. But I'm looking
I
at
don't
two
think he gonna
as
fall past 4 or 5, y'all. I just don't see that.
uh no, because well, it's a possibility because uh number 4 is New England. I don't think
Hmm.
they'll take him. I think they're going offensive line or wide receiver. Then you got at number 5, Jacksonville, who I think Mason Graham is a better fit there because they need help on the
Yep.
interior.
Interior
Number
line.
6 is the Raiders. I think that's a spot for Shadua. Number 7,
Well,
I
I
think
think
is
that's where he going anyway.
number 7 is the Jets. They don't need no edge rusher. So I mean, to me, Carolina is the latest he could fall. And honestly, I really, if
Yeah.
Cleveland smart, and as I said this too, if Cleveland is smart,
And they'll
go
take
ahead
out
and draft,
Abdul Carter.
take Abdul Carter, pair him with Miles Garrett for the next 3 years.
Darn right.
Then with Miles Garrett, if you want to trade him before that time is up, trade him. Then you still got his replacement already there. So Cleveland, if you smart, take Abdul Carter. Yeah, I know y'all need a quarterback, but y'all can build on something pretty quick with 2 edge rushers that can get after the quarterback like that.
And Robert, they on train with you, man. I'm sorry. I've been on team since the beginning of the league year. There's no point in my stance now. If we can trade back and get more draft capital, even if we use Kyle Pitts to get more draft capital, I'm with it because there's some talent in this draft, y'all. But I will not sit here and act like my eyes are blind. I got enough of them with these glasses. Abdul Carter is a talent that is one of those talents to where if you're going to trade up or if you're going like Robert said, if you're going to sell the farm for, he is that good of a player. He has shown those flashes, but just with his play and his athleticism and his ability to get after the quarterback, I just don't believe that he'll be there around where Julio Jones was when Thomas Dimitroff made that jump from back in the 20s all the way up to draft him. I
Yeah,
think
but
I think Cleveland takes them.
but me and you, we show everybody the perfect example. And when you said
Mhm.
trade back, we tried in both our mock draft. And guess what? Both of those mock drafts were successful. That first mock
They
draft, and
were.
the crazy thing is,
Either with age.
we were looking at it on Twitter yesterday. And I saw a mock draft. I think it was it was from it was either from CBS Sports or Sports Illustrated. But
Mhm.
the Falcons traded back and started in the second round, and they ended up getting
Right.
Walter Nolan
Walter
and
Nolan
the edge rusher,
and
the other
Prince Hugh.
yeah,
Princely.
the old Miss teammates. So
Mhm. We
if
did that
somebody
our first mock draft.
hey, if somebody else saw that, then hey, we saw it, and trading back would not be a bad thing because, like I said, it's talent in this draft. You got guys like Maxwell Harrison, the cornerback from Kentucky,
Right.
Darian Porter from Iowa State at corner, Trey Amos, another Ole Miss rebel. It's pretty talent at edge rusher, cornerback, linebacker, anything that you need on defense, it's there. So if you trade back to get more picks, that would not be a bad idea. And really, honestly, from what Chris has been saying, it's a really brilliant idea if you think about it, because of all the holes that they have to fill on their
Right,
roster.
bro. A lot of talent out there, man. That's all I'm saying. I mean, we've all done mock drafts. I'm pretty sure the people in the chat done mock drafts as well. You see the talent that's there. My thing is if you're going to trade up or if you're going to go get an impactful player like that to trade up, yeah, okay, Abdul Carter. I just don't think he's going to be there
Right.
at a reasonable price because the Falcons don't have a lot of draft capital to trade up with as well too. So it's just a lot of things you got to take in consideration and factor in. So, but my thing is, let me ask you this though, and I know how you feel about it, but we're gonna talk about it real quick. Falcons draft Banks Jr. You good with that?
Absolutely. I have
Mm,
no problem with that
okay.
because we all know the Falcons need to keep building in the trenches. What is the engine to the team? The offensive line. Michael Penix is going to be the quarterback for at least the next 4 years, and his blind side is on the right side. Caleb McGarry is not a strong pass blocker. He's an excellent run blocker, but he's not a strong pass blocker. So you go out and draft his replacement, possibly trade him or sit him down and say, "Hey, we need you to sit this one out." Boy, they may cut him. He has no guaranteed money. So they won't be losing anything. They may gain about 5-6 million, maybe a little bit more than that. But Caleb McGarry time in Atlanta is probably coming to an end. You see, when he went out as a free agent, no one was jumping through hoops to go sign him. He ended up coming back to Atlanta on a deal that I feel like they overpaid for him still.
Right.
So McGarry, I think he's going to be the odd man out. However, um, what if Caleb McGarry moved? Well, no, he can't move inside because Berger running on the inside. So unless
McGarry will have to be gone if you
un, un,
draft Banks Jr.
unless Chris Lindstrom is going to play center, Caleb McGarry would be gone because he
Bro,
has no.
we better not.
He would be a backup.
I
And
made a
yeah,
joke about that in the chat about a month ago, and I was like, "Oh yeah, they're gonna move Lindstrom to center." Now it's so funny because when Chris Lindstrom was doing his draft combine, he did do drills at center just to show versatility.
yeah, his brother actually
So
played guard and center at Boston College as well. So they know the position of center. It's just that I don't see him doing that
I
unless
don't either.
unless they get an all pro player that they cannot pass up on that can take this offensive line to an elite level, such as the Dallas Wall back in the 90s. If you can find that kind of
Mm,
talent, yeah, Chris Lindstrom will play center. But he's right where he's supposed to be at right guard. You drafted a
I think so.
Bergeron last year. So, I mean, look, Bergeron was probably one of the biggest sleeper picks that the Falcons have made in the last 15 years. And they hit
Yeah,
that one right
and
on. They hit
Dallas
that nail
wanted
on
them
the head with
bad.
that. Yeah, exactly.
Dallas wanted them bad. Shoot, Dallas wanted Kyle Pitts. Shoot, we always stealing
But
people
hey,
that
they can
Dallas
have him now,
wants.
so it don't even matter. They can have him now.
Man, they can have his ass. I mean, well, again, they're not going to trade Kyle Pitts. I don't think, because again, your quarterback has to have some kind of say in something. And even though he's a rookie, he's still your quarterback of the now. We can't even say the future anymore. He's your quarterback of the now. You
Right.
gotta you gotta have some kind of thought that the quarterback voice have to factor into the draft pick possibly as well. And I feel like if we take a tackle, another offensive player, yet again, I just feel like that Michael Penix must have asked for it. I mean, of course, they want to protect him too, but I think Michael Penix would have to ask, okay, man, McGarry, he cool and everything. I love the guy, great, I'm saying everything like that. But I need some extra reassurance over there.
But
And
but
if they're and then hypothetically speaking to what we were saying about Lindstrom moving to center, then you would have Lindstrom at center. I think that's pretty solidified. Just because of the player he is. Then you have moved McGarry to
to the
right
right guard.
guard,
Right.
and then you would have Banks Jr. at
On the
right
right side.
tackle.
Right.
And then just imagine my thing is imagine that outside zone sweep then.
Woo. The only thing about it though, Caleb McGarry doesn't have the speed or the athleticism to pull.
That
That's
that
gonna be
that
the only
uh
thing.
that Lindstrom has.
Going straight ahead, second level.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, McGarry can do that. But when you talking about swing
Right.
blocks,
But when it comes to
yeah,
pulling, yeah,
yeah,
swinging,
yeah, that's not
that's
that's
what I'm
not his
saying.
thing.
He would be taking on the role of what Lindstrom had.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and I don't know. That's another thing too. Thing Took the words right out of my mouth, Mike. Took the words right out of my doggone mouth. That's a lot of moving. So that's my point. I don't want to draft a guy at tackle because that would be a lot of moving. If anything, I feel like we should wait until maybe a later round, the possibly maybe the third round, maybe Jared Wilson at center. He's still there, and you can bring him in, put him behind Newzil.
But
I
think
know
about
we
this
still got
also.
Javon Gwyn. What's that?
Think about this also. If they want Kevin Banks and want him to play on that right side, Jake Matthews only has what 2 to 3 years left in that line. So Kevin Banks
Right.
swings to the left side as the other
That's the
side,
left tackle.
which is not the blind side anymore if you got a left-handed
Right.
quarterback. But
Right.
still, that's where the number one edge rusher usually lines up at on the left side, in front of the left
Hmm.
tackle. So maybe they could be looking at the future with that pick. Who knows? But since
Possible.
this draft is deep and they know they need to build in the trenches, hey, they would do it because
Man, I
I
think
mean we finished
uh,
we finished 15th against the run. But at one point during the season, we were at like 27, 28th against the run. Now they did get better,
mhm.
but to prevent that from happening again, you got to go out and get a big guy up the middle. This is why I like Desmond Watson. This is why I like Alfred
Mhm.
Collins from Texas. Big body nose tackle, zero technique that can help this defense plug holes, run lanes,
Yep.
get up in the quarterback face, knock the ball down, just anything to cause confusion. And this is the draft to do it. And there's no
Yeah, I
exception.
agree. I mean, hey, we got to go get with our needs, man. We don't have a true zero technique on our team. I don't believe. Somebody that can play it efficiently and effectively, really like move that pile and drive those offensive linemen back into the quarterback or back into the running back or close those gaps, take on those double teams. We don't have that. You know what I'm saying? We don't have that Vince Wolf for, and that's something that we need. Somebody that's like that Fletcher Cox. You know what I'm saying? Some of those guys, shoot, man, even some of the guys that you see with the Eagles. We need, yeah, I'm not saying we need those players. I'm just saying we need guys like that. And we don't know exactly what Brandon Dorlus is going to be. We don't know what Trace is going to be. All those guys. We got to factor those guys in too about how the Falcons may feel because we may want them to go draft from similar positions. They may be like, no, we believe in Dorlus or we believe in TQ Graham and all those things like that. So we're not going to draft necessarily deep at that position. So it's just so many different variables. We're getting closer to the draft.
And think
Today
about
is
it
a
too. When
what's
they
that?
drafted Michael Penix last year, a
Hmm.
lot of teams they were saying the Falcons could possibly draft him, but they were looking edge rusher last year for Latu from UCLA, and Fontenot tried to trade back into the first round to get him, but
Hmm.
Arthur Blank put his hand down and said, "We need to go get a quarterback. It's time." When they flew to
Oh,
Seattle
I feel like that too.
for that private workout, you knew what time it was. Arthur Blank goes, you know what time it is. This is why I said
Right.
them going to look at a tackle at a private workout in Austin last week. That could be a sign that he probably going to be the pick if he's there. If he's not
Bro,
there,
that'll be
then
outrageous.
hey, I'm just saying. I'm
And
just
and
saying.
and and, and I was going to bring it up as well, but Larry did it for me, and the owners, meaning Arthur Blank, did indeed, and we knew that just because we had the live the other day to where we allowed Arthur Blank to talk, and you know what I'm saying, it was what I'm saying, conveying his opinions and his feelings on what the Falcons need to do in the draft, and defense did come out of Arthur Blank's mouth. So that has to be taken in consideration too. That the owner of the team is like, okay, it's time for defense. It's time to go. It's time because defense is going to help Michael Penix as well. Somebody who's essentially coming into his rookie season. Yes, he had a brilliant 3 games compared to our last quarterback who had a 4 game sample size. You compare those two, it's light years ahead of
What?
it's light years ahead of that performance.
But what's funny, man, is I sit back and think about if Arthur Blank was thinking that the other day when he was doing an interview with our boy Steve Weiss.
Mhm.
Um, Where was he the last couple of years when Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, and those guys was sitting on the board?
Hey man,
Michael
it begs the
Parsons.
question. It begs the question. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think it was the situation though, Smith. You think about the situation we was in. Julio just said, "Hey, I'm out of here." We got to go offense.
But Jamar
We got to
Chase was
go
there.
offense.
Jamar
I
Chase was there
understand,
on the board.
but the measurables and the unicorn like ability of Kyle Pitts was just so tantalizing. The Falcons just could not turn it down. I would have took Jamar Chase, Panay Sewell, or Michael Parsons in that draft.
The
But
unicorn, the unicorn ain't nothing but popcorn. Let's just keep it real. So that unicorn can be laid to rest. Unicorn is popcorn
hey
at
man,
this point. Keep it real.
I don't even necessarily even call him that at all. It's just what the people are saying. What's up, Craig? Happy 404 day to you. Happy 404 day to
Craig, what's
everybody in the
up, man?
chat, man. Shout out to everybody. Yeah, man. But yeah, it's just like at the end of the day, no, bro. Bruh, I'm just again, Kyle Pitts then. Then you look at it the next year. Kyle Pitts needed a running mate. Because Kyle Pitts, one of the reasons why he had that 1,000-yard season because he was the primary target.
Right.
We had OZ on the team. We had Russell Gage on the team. You know what I'm saying? Come on now, what's that? Respectfully, what's that? You know what I'm saying? But
But
so
my
we didn't
thing
have a lot of
is,
talent.
you were
Then we
gonna
went
go
to go
wide
get Drake.
receiver. Jamar Chase was there, and Jordan Jefferson. Justin Jefferson was
Just
on.
Jefferson.
Yeah.
But
So
my thing is too though, like okay, but they wanted the unicorn, quote unquote. They wanted the unicorn. They didn't want to necessarily go out. They wanted a mismatch. They thought Kyle Pitts would be the mismatch over the middle of the field, down the field, and in the first season, fam, he
yeah.
did look like that. But again, he
To,
was the primary target.
to be
They go
fair,
get Drake.
to be fair,
Yeah,
this season will tell us exactly what the problem is because Matt
yeah.
Ryan was on the down part of his career, his last year in Atlanta when Kyle Pitts was drafted, and right after that, what do? Taylor Heineke,
Mhm.
Desmond Ritter, Marcus Mariota breakdance. Neither one of those quarterbacks, neither one of them
McDonald's, Mariota.
could get him the football. Now he has a strong arm quarterback, such as a Michael Penix that can play in the pistol formation. He can play out the shotgun,
Shotgun,
and
everything
and
Z
he
Rod wants to do.
and he will not be scared to throw the ball in the end zone. So
Oh,
maybe,
of course not.
just maybe, Kyle Pitts could turn it around this year. But the only thing with that, if he turns it around this year, better be ready to pay that $20 million a year. That's all I'm gonna
Oh,
say.
absolutely. And that's what another thing too. I don't know if the Falcons do that. But if he is having a good season and if you need something at the trade deadline, he will be another bargaining chip. Unfortunately, when you look at it, guys like Kyle Pitts, guys like Tyler Algier,
Oh, don't get
and Tyler
don't let me
Algier is
get
one of
on
my
that.
favorites. And
Don't
Tyler
let me
Algier
get
is
on
one of my
that.
favorites. But
I
those
I
two
just dropped
guys
the
are
video on that
guys.
earlier. I just dropped the
Those
video
two
on that
guys
earlier.
are guys that could be
Yeah.
bargaining chips. That's all I'm saying. Like, and I want Tyler here, but I understand that the business. So this whole conversation wraps around business when it comes down to Kurt, the draft picks, the players, everything like that. So it's still all surrounding that. And but guy,
And
I mean, fan. Oh,
not
you
only
go there.
that, fam. Not only that. I'm looking at Tyler Algier, man, and I see it on the video. Y'all can go look at it on the channel right now. Um, you have to start looking at Tyler Algier as his opportunity got taken away. He had 1,000-yard season, his rookie
Hmm.
season. You go out and draft a running back. Now he barely gets
Hmm.
over 600 yards the last two seasons combined.
Hmm.
And he's a good running mate, a good, you know, somebody to come
Change of
in,
pace.
wear down the defense, do what he needs to
Hmm.
do. But on some teams, Tyler can start. This is why the
Yeah.
Pittsburgh conversation came up on the show. This is why.
Right.
Because Arthur Smith
He'll fit
drafted him.
perfectly there.
He drafted him, and Pittsburgh liked their power backs. They have CJ Warren,
Hmm.
but he's not a power back. They lost Najee Harris to the Chargers. And you have
Hmm.
power backs in this draft. But a former linebacker that plays running back, you're not going to find that everywhere. So I just feel like Tyler Algier deserves a chance to be a number one running back in the league. If he goes to the Raiders, he could start. He goes to the Steelers, he could possibly start. If he goes to uh he go to the Browns, he can start. He can go
He
to
started.
San Francisco. They could get rid of C-Mac.
Jaguars.
Jaguars. Exactly. But I'm gonna tell you the craziest thing. if he does get traded, or he does, or he's not going to get cut. But if he does get traded,
No.
it would be funny if the Panthers call the Falcons and say we want that running because they
I
need a
mean, I
running
can
back.
see that too. I can
So
see that too. They got Chuba Hubbard. They've actually been having a few
yeah,
injuries down there.
Jonathan
Miles
Brooks,
Sanders
he
didn't
just
work
tore his
out.
ACL again, so he's out another
Yeah.
season.
So that's what I'm saying. Just like yeah, they would need one. That's what I'm saying. It's places that he can go. See, Tyler got options, unlike Kirk Cousins.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, again, I wouldn't want to trade Tyler if I don't have to. But I was just bringing him up because I know him and Kyle Pitts for the sake of the conversation could be used as chips to do something with. You know what I'm saying? Maybe trade deadline or something. We don't know what we possibly may need or where we'll be. I know all that stuff is subjective and depending. But yeah, man, it's just we'll see what happens with it though, fam. I still think we should trade back. I don't think that we should use Kyle Pitts as a move to trade up. I guess unless Abdul Carter's there. Don't think he will be
Right.
there. Don't think he makes it past 5, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, like I
Honestly.
said it, man. It's just one of those drafts. It's so much talent in this draft, but at the same time, if you do think about trading up, Abdul Carter is that guy you got to go get because he's a franchise changing player, not just a game changer. He's a franchise changing player. And if
Mm,
you got to give
I
up
get it. I
two to
get it.
three first round picks to go get him,
Get it. Yeah.
do it. And we talked about Michael Parsons.
Tough.
Michael Parsons is still only 25 years old, but you got to pay Michael Parsons $30 million. That's the difference. So why not go get Michael Parsons' clone in Jalen Walker or Abdul Carter
Mm.
and have them for 4 or 5 years? It's levels
Yeah,
to
I
it,
mean
man. It's
it's
levels
the
to it.
better situation. It's the better thought and the better idea. You know what I'm
That
saying?
rookie
Should I say?
contract is the better idea.
Yeah, we need rookie contracts. Okay, we need rookie contracts because that's the thing that we say what trade up. Hold on, what trade up the Jet 7 pick? Oh, yeah, man. I mean,
And that's the pick. If y'all wondering
yeah.
why that is, and people keep talking about that, is the Panthers at number 8, and they're definitely taking an edge rusher.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I think so. I think they're taking one. Shoot, the Saints could possibly take one. Saints got so many different directions they could go because they need a lot of different pieces too. I know they just kind of steered up the secondary with this Justin Reed signing, but at the same time they got holes. They need more edge rushers. They need offensive linemen. They need everything.
Yeah,
So
that's another
it's
team.
just
They can go a slew of directions. You don't even know which way the Saints gonna go. But
right.
honestly, I think with Cam Jordan at 34, 35 years old, edge rush is what they're going to go as well. If it's not edge, it's corner. They've got to shore up that defense. That defense was awful. And their best cornerback signed with the Giants would have torn ACL.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, that's true. That's true indeed too, man. Want to change some gears real quick, man. I know get we're gonna. I just since it's full day, man. I just want to bring in talking about the Atlanta Hawks as well, and actually some news for the Atlanta Hawks, and it came from Evan C. And I talked about this on the Hawks about a week ago and everything. If y'all guys haven't checked that out, please go check out the Hawks Digest. I know I know it may be hard to find, so I may have to actually point it out exactly which video it is with that. But Mr. Cedary was saying the Kings have a
I saw that.
92.9% chance
Yeah.
of losing their first round pick to the Atlanta Hawks thanks to that Kevin Herter trade back in 2022. It's a top 12 protected. And like I had said back on Hawks Digest, we wanted the Kings to stay right in that area and in the play in so we can possibly get that draft pick. My question for you, Smitty, is this. In your opinion, should the Atlanta Hawks, saying that they get that draft pick from the Kings, what should they do? Should they use that to possibly go get another player to put beside Trey Young? Or should we stay pat and try to see if we can get possibly a center in this draft?
It's 45 centers in this draft. That's 7-1 or better. Um, and you're not going to go out and get a 7 foot guy that's already in the league anymore. This is positionless basketball, as we talked about for a while. You got
Mm-hmm.
you got to stay put. If the offer presents itself and you can move farther up the board to go get who you want, yeah, you make that deal. But wherever you land with the Kings pick, use that pick to go get a center. Then use your pick in the first round to possibly go get a guard that can a guard or a wing that can come off the bench and give you 10 to 15 points. Because
Mm-hmm.
we all know the starting five, they're fine as long as they got somebody to rebound. But when they can't get rebounds, they start playing like a rec team. So fundamentals is everything. Go get that 7 footer to get those rebound and block shots and get the momentum going the other way. Because if you don't, it's gonna be a long growing period, and Trey gonna get tired of it.
Yeah,
So
yeah, no, that's a great outlet right there, man. I think honestly, I feel like we need a big and a true backup point guard. Not saying that I don't like what Dyson is doing. Dyson has done great at the backup point guard when Trey is out. Dyson normally stays in and takes over at point guard. Now, I think that they will have a good problem in Trey, Dyson, and JJ all being able to, bring the ball up the floor. Also, V can do that as well. But I still think that Kobe Buffkin is not a point guard. But I still
get
believe that
two
the
guard.
Hawks have faith in him. Yeah, I still believe they have faith in him. So I don't see them getting rid of him. Trade is too good. But that's for me, man. I think we need. I don't think we go and use the Kings pick. That's a top 12 protected, and depending on where it falls, like let's say it falls around in that area, around like the 12, 13 range. If there's a center there, you have to go get him because back in that draft with Kobe Buffkin, I was hoping and praying that Derek Lively would still be there
And it's
for us
crazy.
for the
He
fourth.
went
Because
he went to
Dallas,
pick
yeah,
before
Dallas took him
we
before,
picked. Cause that was one guy that I knew the Hawks were gonna be able to get. And he went to pick
bro.
before.
Bro, that was my draft
That
pick.
was
And when I
mine
was
too.
seeing how the draft was
I
falling,
talked about it.
ooh, Derek Lively. I said, if Derek Lively can fall to the Hawk, and then here come Dallas, old Ugg self. I'm like, man, Derek, can you imagine Derek Lively and Trey Young right now?
But
Man, stop playing with me.
I'm gonna tell you something though, and this is something that they seriously should think about. If you know that you're not going to be able to put a team together to make Trey Young relevant as he should be because he's been snubbed from the All Star game 2 times. Um, if you know you're not going to build the right team around him, ship him off and get something for him while you can. Or
You just
but
not gonna get equal
but
value.
think
You're
about it.
not gonna get it.
You may not get equal value, but what if you're losing for nothing?
Now that's a possibility. See, now that's what I'm saying. I think Trey believes in what the Hawks are doing right now. I think Trey enjoys his coach right now. You know what I'm saying, with Quinn Snyder. They both enjoy each other.
Right.
So that's one thing. I believe, like, for example, if Quinn was fired this offseason, I do think you would see possibly a different Trey Young because he'd be like, okay, so you fired the coach that I like. What direction are you going with it? Then also he's eligible for the sign that 20 two
That's
hundred and $29 million extension.
for
He's
4 years.
eligible to sign it this offseason.
Right.
Will he sign it? That is the biggest question to everybody.
Oh, woo.
I
I,
think he
I
will.
I
I
don't
think he
know.
will. I'm not saying even this offseason. I'm saying I think Trey will sign a extension in Atlanta. But it all
Right?
depends on what the
He
front
has
office
never
is going to
really
do.
sounded like he was sure that he was going to end his career here because he always says we don't know what the future holds. So that lets me know he's uncertain
Yeah,
himself
I mean, you
about
don't.
whether he wants to stay here. But at the end of the day, it's their job to build a team around him to make him want to stay. Yeah, he got his coach in place. Go get the big man that he needs. Yeah, even though Rudy Gobert
Mhm,
can't really shoot, he's gonna block and he's gonna rebound. You know, you getting that
mhm,
point
mhm.
blank period. So you can go get that. Even DeAndre Ayton, who developed a jump shot, you could probably go to shoot to Portland and get him. if you think about it.
Man,
But the only thing with
that
DeAndre,
contract,
yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Do they want to
that
bring on that
contract.
contract? Because boy, whew,
It's just if I bring on that contract, bro, I need you for at least
uh, if
70
they
games.
if they
At least.
take on that contract, they're gonna lose Jalen Johnson because
Bro.
his contract is gonna have to match that contract in order to make the deal work.
Yeah, man, that
That's the only
contract,
downfall.
man.
That's the only
See,
downfall.
that's the thing about JJ's contract period though. They're on. And I said it, and just shooting the breeze, disclaimer, I want Jalen Johnson on this team, okay? I do. But just for fun on 4-4 day, let's say Zachary Ricochet takes a leap so far that JJ becomes a bargaining chip to get other players.
You read my mind because I was just about to go there. We just saw the other night what Ricochet can do when he home. If he grows and continues, remember he's still what, just 19, 20?
He's only 19.
19 years old and 36 points in the NBA game. And him and Jalen Johnson are pretty much the same player, but his jump shot is much more developed than Jalen Johnson. So if you had to pay Jalen Johnson, so his contract is going to be a bargain chip. Remember when we had Gallinari a couple of years ago, and they gave him that big deal? We all knew he got that contract because they were going to trade him sooner or later. Because sometimes the contracts have to match up in the NBA. It's not like the
Mm-hmm.
NFL. The
Yeah,
contracts have to
contracts
match
definitely
up.
have to match in the NBA.
So Jalen Johnson, DeAndre Ayton, I would take that, even though, and I told y'all, when they drafted Jalen Johnson, I said they got a top 5 pick at number 19. They got a top 5 pick. The only thing is
With
the
the
injury
injuries,
history. Yeah.
injury history.
So I
And,
mean,
and,
look,
and honestly, it's crazy though, man. But there's already chirping, man. I already have friends, talk to other fans. You know what I'm saying? Little by little, it's not a large amount, but it is a little trickle, like a little stream of
right,
fans that were like, "Hey, man, is JJ injury prone? Is I mean, he was already like had that title coming out of the draft. We knew that, but
right.
is he? Because like he fell far, and for back-to-back seasons now, we could not depend on him long term. And my response to that is the best thing you can do is wait and see, and it really is part on the player, on the what how he's developing, how he's eating, how he's training. We seen him training with LeBron. Does he intensify that? Does he intensify his training, strength training? You know what I'm saying, flexibility, all that stuff like that. Does he
I want you
improve
to think
those things?
about this though. I mean, that's all fine then with the training and trying to stay healthy. But Richard
Mhm.
Shea been playing pro basketball since he was 14.
14. Right.
So he light years ahead of Jalen Johnson when it comes to that. That's why when you saw that 36-point game, I wasn't surprised. I just knew
Mhm.
he needed an opportunity. He needed the perfect showcase to showcase his talent. And every offseason, he's
And
only
he's
going to
only
get
gonna
better.
get better.
He's
He's
only
only
going to
gonna
get
get
better.
better.
He can handle it. He can
If
bring
he
them.
works, just wait till he start. Like for me, now, if I'm just guesstimating just things that he needs to work on, for of course, defense. Always work on defense. I believe every player should work on defense. So lateral movements, you know what I'm saying, moving your feet, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
keeping your hand, you know what I'm saying, in certain places, you need to do that. But also, I think that for Zach, he work on that dribbling and actually not. He don't need a dribble package. He don't have to be Kyrie. He don't even have to be Shea. None of them follow that. But if he can just get like a couple of moves to where he can get people up off him and get like a little mid range, and then
Right.
also be a little bit more confident on his drives. Hey, because I mean the shot's going to come there. He's already shooting anyway. He's already catching and shooting stuff
Right.
like that. I believe he has a high catch and shoot rate as well. Anyway, so you have that aspect. He get that dribbling down to where he's more confident putting the ball on the floor. I think it's going to work wonders for him. And that's another reason why, like I said, for fun on 404 day, no one's suggesting Jalen Johnson be traded. We're just saying, what if Zach takes a leap so over the mountain that JJ becomes not necessarily a liability, but becomes a bargaining chip to possibly
But
trade to get the team
but
better.
bro, they can get another JJ. I'm sorry, but you can't get another
Mm.
Ricochet because Ricochet played point
JJ is a
guard too.
talent though, man. Let's not
He
let's
is.
not sell
He is.
JJ short though.
No. I'm just saying you can find another talent like that because you found Ricochet, same exact talent. Ricochet can play anywhere from the 1 all the way up to the 4. So look,
I felt that Ricochet was going to be the pick. If you notice, when they went to go see Ricochet
overseas, yeah.
for the Atlanta Falcons, excuse me, Atlanta Hawks, because you don't just go watch a player just to go watch a player. You can watch some film. Them folks got on a plane, you know what I'm saying,
Oh
and
yeah,
went
on
over
them
there,
flames.
and that what made me feel like in Atlanta. And of course, he's in Atlanta. Castle for the season total is he's still leading in points. But again, Zachary Ricochet, what he's done since JJ has gone down, it really has been a blessing for him because his game has been able to get more minutes, more points, more development. And shoot, man, I like what I'm seeing from Zach. I think Zach can win the Rookie of the Year if he finished the season strong. Make a strong push when these last like about what 7, 8 games left. He make a strong push. I think he can overtake Stephon Castle. Same
But
thing for
but
Dyson Daniels. I think Dyson Daniels can win the Defensive Player of the
I'm gonna
Year.
I'm gonna play
I
villain
want
right quick before we get out of here.
a villain.
I'm gonna play villain before I get out. Y'all know I got to start something before I get out there.
Oh man, my goodness, we ain't even got to the last thing yet, and this man already trying to
But
get
look,
to the.
let me ask you this, and let me y'all can answer
What's
in the
that?
chat. Um, how do you think this team would have looked had they went out to Alex Sargent State?
How we would have looked?
Yeah, how do you feel like this team would have played with a 7'1", 7'2" guy playing the 4 or the 5, however they wanted to make it? You probably put a Congo back at the 4 because he's better at the 4 and his jump shot is developing. What if you had that 7-footer that could block shots and get rebounds? That Alex Sargent?
I still think we would be either in a similar or worse situation, to be honest. Because at the end of the day, even though Sar does have size, and well, excuse me, Sar has height, but against certain bigs, he still wouldn't have the he'll be too light in the behind for real. Like
Yeah, that's why I
imagine
say
him
he's
against
probably
Jokic.
more of a 4 than a 5.
And, right, and he wanted to play the 4 anyway. He didn't want to play the 5 in Atlanta. Also, I don't think Onyeka has power forward. I really just don't.
That's fair.
He does. First of all, a power forward. Most power forwards who are good can at least knock down shot consistently. And even though Onyeka, to his credit, has got 3 balls, at the end of the day, like if there's a jump shooter and consistently, we know that's not Onyeka's game. So
Right.
every time Onyeka shoots a 3, it's more like a "come on, Onyeka" instead of being a confidence thing, because we know that that's a part of his game that he's working on. It
Right.
has gotten better, but I would not put Onyeka at the 4, even though I understand his height wise suits it better. I don't think he has power forward abilities, and I just honestly think that having him and Sar out there, you would be better on defense, but would you be better on offense? I don't think so. I
Good
think
point. Good
Ricochet
point.
was the right pick. And also, you think about this too: healthy JJ, who getting minutes,
Mm.
SAR or Double O. So that was another thing too. You got to think about that too when they drafted Ricochet. They thinking about JJ being a big part. JJ turned into the number 2 behind Trey Young. I
Yeah.
don't think that you want to take
And
minutes
with
away from JJ.
Dyson Daniels coming on playing defense the way he do, you talk about more fast breaks. So
That's what I'm
even
saying.
John,
You don't put Sar and Double O in there together again. Now, if you like you facing maybe like a big to big lineup, maybe you could throw Double O in there and maybe Sar and stuff like that. But we're still doing that anyway because we're throwing Double O in there and we got Mo G. So
right,
technically, we're still doing it anyway.
right.
You know. So I mean, that's why I say I feel like we'll be in a similar situation. Um, you know, I mean, what Sar can knock down a couple threes. I mean, Moji can too. Everything that Sar can do, Moji can do. To be honest with you, you know, I mean, maybe Sar is a better ball handler to a degree, but shooting, rebounding, presence, Moji, he's only getting better, and he can do everything Sar can do. So technically, like I said, we're already doing it anyway. It's just the reason why Moji is getting the playing time because JJ is not there. If JJ was
Facts.
there, Moji would not be getting all this development time.
True, true. I can see that.
Yeah, man. Last thing, man. Last thing. Braves 0-7, man. No team has ever reached the playoffs after starting 0-7. And the last time, well, excuse me, the last time it's happened, excuse me. Let me rephrase that. It hasn't happened in 42 seasons that a team started 0-7 and made the playoffs. I don't think they've ever made. I think that what it is a team started 0-7 and never won the World Series or something like that. I think that's what the stat was. But
But
also 42
but but
seasons, man.
but some streets. Well, let's put it like this. Sometimes streets are made to end. Sometimes they're going to end one way or another. I mean,
Right.
it's not going to last always. 42 years is long enough, and the Braves have a good
Mhm.
enough team to uh to turn it around. They still have 155 games. Think about that. They
Right.
can still go out rest of the season, still win 85, 90 games. Yeah, and trust me, when Ronald Acuna comes back, this whole
And
team is
Spencer
going to be,
Strider.
and Spencer Strider, this whole team is going to be rejuvenated. So they're just going through
Mhm.
they're going through their rough period, the rough patch. Is growing pains because you look at Brian Snicker. He thought he hadn't put it out there that he's going to come back next year. So that lets
Mhm.
me know he's thinking about
Well,
retirement.
but you know
He's
what? But
70
you know
years
what?
old.
What?
He's 70 years
Yeah.
old, so it's no surprise. Let's keep it real.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Of
Everybody,
course. I mean,
everybody,
that's no surprise.
everybody can't be Sparky Anderson. But I just feel like when they get their whole array of talent, it's going to turn around. Because one
So
thing
well.
about it, the Dodgers that went out and spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
But do they have the same chemistry that the Braves have? I don't think so. So at the
They
end
got a
of the
lot of
day,
firepower for sure,
I
but
I think chemistry overrules all that. So yeah, we
I
started
do
on
too.
7, but I still think we got a long way to go and we can turn it around. Because
Super long way to
there
go.
1, 2, and 3 pitchers, that's Sale, Strider, and Lopez. I
Well,
think they can
Lopez,
carry
I know
well, yeah, I think he's
he's on
on
the
the DL.
IL now.
Yeah, he's on the
Yeah,
injured list as well.
they put him to the 60-day
60-day
IL
DL.
list so they could
Yeah,
make because they want because he had to have surgery on his shoulder to get that inflammation out of there. Unfortunately, I kind of seen that coming because the bullpen to a starting pitcher
right,
from like 100 innings in one season to 166 innings. You know what I'm saying? Last season. That's a huge jump for a guy who was coming out of the bullpen. And
right.
now you see it, that inflammation don't board up in that shoulder because that shoulder has been overworked now. That's what I was hoping we didn't see. But as soon as they put him on the DL, man, you can see it on my page and everything. When I posted that as just a post, I said, "Uh-oh," when he went to the DL because I already felt like what was coming. Me and T Will, we talk about that stuff like that, and T Will, he's seen stuff like that as well too. So we was talking about it, and he was breaking it down. He was like, "Yo, bro," he said, "I don't feel good about this." I said, "I don't either." And what happened? Very next day, boom. The next thing you know, he goes to the IL. Boom. Next thing you know, he's having surgery. Even though he'll be back this season, it says he's still going to have that surgery, and
Yeah,
we're
this is April. He'll probably be
without
back
him.
by the middle of June, right before the All-Star break.
Possibly, possibly. But even with that saying, the reason why I have hope that the Braves are going to turn this around, their lineup, their core. When we get guys back like Strider, when Strider comes back, he's going to be throwing flames. When Acuna comes back, um, uh, give it a month, give it a month. But I think Acuna is going to be able to work his way back into this as well.
And
The Braves, they were
Profile and
coming
get the
together
play
the
the
other
back end
night.
of the schedule. Profile and get
Yeah,
to play
Profile's going to play the back end.
he played the
The
back
only
end of the
problem
schedule.
is Braves make the playoffs, there will be no Profile
Yeah,
because of the ban.
yeah.
That's the only catch 22 to that. But I still believe that the Braves, the other night against the Dodgers, that Shohei had to walk off, that was a disappointing loss. But what encouraged me was the fact that their bats
Kept
actually did
yeah,
wake
they
up.
kept fighting. Yep.
They kept fighting. The previous games, they only were scoring like two
Two.
runs
Yep.
in 2 games, 1 run, no runs, getting shut out, all that stuff
Because
like that. At least we made it competitive.
other than game one, they really want to score.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So now that game at least gave me some kind of hope that maybe the Braves bats are trying to get going. They turned that key and that engine finally turned over, and we're finally going to get this thing on the road and going in the right direction. We're back at home, first home game of the year. Yes, we was on the road that long, so first home game of the year. I believe the Braves can get their first win on a Friday night, have Friday night lights with the fireworks and all that stuff like that. Getting our first win because your first one is always the toughest to get, and then after that, it starts becoming a little bit more easier, man.
Right.
So
Right.
I said I believe that we're going in the right direction, man. Seriously, what you said,
Thanks.
Craig? Craig said profile training with Fernando Tatis Jr. and Senior, man. Yeah. Oh man, it was so funny. I seen another guy. He was like, "No wonder him and Fernando Tatis are best friends." I was like, "God Almighty!"
Yeah.
Stalks, but that's the type of stuff and backlash that you see when stuff like that goes on.
Yeah.
And but I believe in these Braves. I think the Braves have the opportunity to turn this thing around starting tonight. I do.
Yeah. And all they have to do is get the lineup, get the lineup right. See who goes
Bro, it's the
where.
bullpen. It's
Yeah,
that
bullpen as
bullpen.
well. Yeah, bullpen as well. But when you talk about hitting, you got to have that proper lineup. That's why I said when Ronald Acuna comes back, we'll know where everybody falls. Because 9 times out of 10, Ronald's gonna be at the top, Michael Harris is gonna be at the bottom, and
Hmm.
that has worked for the last 3 years.
Yeah, man. And that's another thing too. So, we'll see. We'll see, man. I just believe that we got to keep faith in our Atlanta teams. And I got a question for you guys. I know Big Low asked this question earlier. And shout out to One Time for the Fan. Shout out to Big Low as well. They had an excellent stream. Well, One Time for the Fan, they was already like 3 hours in, and then Big Low jumped in as well. And I know last time I looked, it was at like 3 hours and 30 minutes before we had jumped on. So they had a great stream. Shout out to them, man. It's rise up content creators, as I always say. But it's a question that I'm gonna ask you, and we can go back and forth before we get out of here. Which team in Atlanta, these Falcons and Hawks, which one of those teams do you feel like is the closest they contender?
Braves. The
Okay.
injuries have killed the Braves. The injuries killed them last year. Spencer Strider went out with that
Hmm.
arm injury. I think Tommy John surgery. Um,
Yep. Second one.
and you had Ronald Acuna out. So I mean, when those two come back, the Braves gonna look like a totally different team.
Hmm.
But
I
sometimes,
like it, man.
man,
I actually got to go.
you just gotta have
I
that
ain't to
flash, man. And what I mean by that, you got to have those players that put a fire up under that behind. And I think Ronald Acuna, he just does that for the team. It's just like when Michael Vick went down with that broken leg that year. Falcons just fell apart.
Hmm.
It's saying that
Right.
Ronald Acuna just had that type impact. But the
Yeah.
Braves
I mean, he's the MVP.
haven't won a World Series just 4 years ago, pretty much with the same team.
Hmm.
They still in contention to win another title. May not be this year, but it's gonna be sometime down the road, sometime soon.
Yeah. For me, right now, if I'm looking at it present day. And you know what I'm saying? So that means no NFL draft, none of that like that. If I'm looking at it right now, I'm going Braves first, just because they've locked up their core. They have their core signed all the way through 20. I think one player signed through 2029.
Right.
You just said they've derailed us the last 2 seasons, especially last year. Last year was absolutely.
Right.
I think this Braves team is the team that I honestly, man, that's tough. But present day, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Falcons then Hawks. I was gonna go Hawks then Falcons, but I'm gonna go Falcons then Hawks. It's tough because the Falcons and the Hawks for me are kind of like neck and neck, kind of running that race on chasing the Braves. Both of them are chasing the Braves for me, and it's just like who's going to get there. We got Michael Penix, we got Trey Young there, Zachary Ricochet, JJ, but you also got
I
Bijan
I make that an easy
and
answer for
Drake
you.
London.
Before we get out of here, I make that an easy answer for you. You got to put the Falcons in front of the Hawks because you know the
Yeah, that's what I
Falcons.
did.
Because you know the Falcons gonna spend the money. They'll spend money.
Yeah, that
It's something that the Hawks not gonna do.
spend the money. Are we going to make the right moves? And I think too, you guys want to come just like football. I feel like people want to play for the Falcons a little bit more than the Hawks, just a little bit, just a little bit. And again, I'm saying this present day, the draft still has to happen for the Hawks. Off season still has to happen for the Hawks. Draft and the rest of the off season still have to happen for the Falcons. Everybody got to go out there and play. But again, everybody's chasing the Braves to me right now.
Until the Hawks get that coach, that championship caliber coach, I think we're gonna be in that same spot. But sometimes things go
Don't talk about
unexpected,
don't talk
and
about 03, Craig. Don't talk about 03. Oh,
hey,
oh, oh.
man, boy, don't even talk about that. But yeah, I just think the Braves just head above. The way they're managed from the front office is just better altogether.
Right, man. And shout out to Ryan, the historian, man. Had a great interview last night. I know Smitty, you jumped on the show with him the other night. They had a great conversation as well on, I believe, Wednesday night as
Right.
well. And then Ryan, man, I seen him pop up with T. But Smitty, man, what you if you ain't got nothing else, fine, my brother.
Hey man, y'all know where to find me, Smitty Sports Machine on YouTube, NFC South Roundtable on the NFC on Roundtable Sports Network. I just dropped 2 videos today. Tyler Algiers' future with the Falcons. I just explained a little bit in this live, but y'all can go to that, that short, check that out. And Trey Henderson, he could possibly be right back on the trading block because he just got dissed by the GM or whoever was running the team, player personnel, whoever whoever Karen is, I don't know. But yeah, he can be back on the market soon. I think draft night gonna tell us everything we need to know about Trey Henderson. And the Falcons, they can
Right.
find a way to get the money. It's a way.
Possibly. Yeah, man. You never know. Could be a draft day trade,
Hey,
seriously, but not with Kyle Pitts. Could be with Kirk Cousins. Never know. We'll see
right.
what happens. But yeah, man. For me, man, A1 Forever Sports. That's the platform on YouTube. Please come over, like, comment, and subscribe. Be generational because it's always time to be. And don't you settle for less because you always can have more with the vision. Telling everybody to find their peace today. Motivation. We need to find more positive, man. We're trying to find some positivity in this Kirk Cousins situation. The Atlanta Hawks, they're on their playoff push, and also the Atlanta Braves bouncing back from this 0-7 and possibly doing something that hasn't been done in 42 years,
They
man.
got
Just keeping the
155
positivity
games. That's a
flowing.
long time.
Long time, baby, long time. Also, catch your boy on the Hawks Digest as well. Me and Walter Pollard, man, we may link up later on on 404 a day, man, and drop something on the Hawks Digest. So look out for that as well. Hey, man, just doing little moves here and there, just making things happen. Twitter, A1 Forever, Instagram, A1 Forever, and the TikTok, the real A1 Forever. And that's where you can find your boy.
That boy Chris is there. He had 4,300 subs, man. He done came a long way. So y'all keep pushing him up over the top. And my boy Ryan on the bird cage, he almost at 1,000. ATLGA
Yeah,
Faithful, he
getting close.
almost at 1,000. So y'all help these
Hmm.
content creators get up to where they need to be.
Yeah, man. Even T Will, man. I ain't gonna lie. T Will's doing good too, man.
He
T Will,
getting
he
up there.
started. I remember, yeah, he had like 264 now. I remember he was when I remember when he started, he was like at 12. So that man is working hard too, man.
Yeah,
Shout out
man.
to T Will as well
Yeah.
doing his
I
thing,
mean,
man.
look,
So
man, we put in hard work.
everyone,
Yeah, we put in
everyone's
hard work
progressing,
doing
man,
this.
and I love it.
Facts.
I love it. But all right, y'all, man, we're gonna catch y'all on the flip side one time for the one time in a minute. Until next time, guys, peace and blessings to you all, and to you all, we'll holler.